Welcome to Bratislava, and today we're exploring the capital of the Slovak Republic. Let's go.
Bratislava is definitely one of Europe's most underrated capitals, and today we're going to show you why. From the hilltop castle watching over the city to the charming old town streets, historic squares, and surprising viewpoints, this city packs a lot into a small space. We'll explore medieval landmarks, climb the old town hall tower for incredible views, taste some seriously good local food, and even cross the Danube as we take in the highlights of Slovakia's capital. So come along as we discover what makes Bratislava a city you shouldn't overlook.
We are at the Bratislava Castle, and construction started here in the 9th century. It's on a nice hill overlooking the city of Bratislava and the Danube River, the beautiful Danube River. So construction started here in the 9th century. It was built under the Kingdom of Moravia, but then in the 10th century it became part of the Kingdom of Hungary, and then ultimately part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And it reached its peak in the 16th century when Maria Theresa of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, she made this a beautiful Baroque palace. So it was really beautiful. But then unfortunately, in the early 1800s, it was pretty much destroyed by fire and it was kind of left in ruins. And it sat there until the 1950s, they rebuilt it. So now it's a beautiful symbol of the Slovak Republic here in beautiful Bratislava, overlooking the Danube River. It was very important protection for the trade route between Vienna and Budapest. St. Martin's Cathedral, one of the most significant buildings here in Bratislava. It sits right underneath the castle, so it was part of the fortifications. It is a Gothic church built in the 14th and 15th centuries. Between like the mid 1500s and 1830, I believe it was the coronation site for emperors of the Hungarian, the Kingdom of Hungary. And the reason why they were crowned here and not in Budapest was because the Ottoman Empire controlled a lot of Hungary, including Budapest. So they were actually crowned here in Bratislava. Now, to represent that, this location as the coronation site, on top of the steeple, there's a replica of a huge replica of the Hungarian crown on top of there. Nice church. We went inside. They're actually having mass right now, so we couldn't really tour around and get much footage. We'll come back later when mass is over, but a very historical site here in Bratislava. All right, so we are at the Slovak pub. They say is the biggest pub in Bratislava. And according to the sign outside, according to Lonely Planet, it's number 22 on their 100 best pubs in the world list. I don't know when that was, don't know how old that list was, but that's what they say. It's a very cool looking place. It's touristy. There's a lot of tourists come in here. But it is very nice, has a nice ambiance in here. So I have garlic soup and homemade bread. Look at that. Get to eat the bread and eat the soup. And Betty has cabbage soup. And that looks and smells really good. It reminds us of kimchi soup, a Korean dish that we really enjoy. So it's kind of what it smells like and also what it looks like. So we're going to dive in. We got some dumplings coming a little bit later, but we're going to check out this soup right now. Oh, that is definitely very, very garlicky, but it is really good. So, all right, lunchtime here at the Slovak pub, and let's see how it is. Okay, so the brewery here, this is supposed to be the second best lager. It won second place in the silver medal and the best lager in Slovakia.
In 2024.
2024. Betty has the dark lager. This is really good. One of the darkest beers we've had. Has a really nice flavor. But I want to talk about this soup, this cabbage soup. Now, you may not know, but Betty was born in Korea, and she lived there until she was like 10 years old. So she's eaten Korean food all of her life. This reminds us so much of kimchi soup out of Korea. It's really good. A little spicy, of course, it has cabbage in it. Now, this has a little cheese in it in Korea, and kimchi soup does not have cheese in it, but
It has little wurst in it.
and it has little sausages in it. But the taste is very similar to kimchi soup, but it's really quite delicious. It's tasty. It's strange how similar it is to kimchi soup. Very good, very tasty. All right, so now we have our dumplings. So we have these little potato dumplings. Looks almost like spätzle that we eat in Germany. Has sheep's cheese and little bacon on top. So one thing we learned is that Slovak food, traditional Slovak food, is different than Bratislava food, even though Bratislava is the capital of the Republic of Slovak Republic. You would think their food would be the same, but Bratislava food, traditional Bratislava food, is more similar to Austrian or German food. So it was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, but the rest of Slovakia, I guess, was not. And so their food is slightly different, whereas in Bratislava, it's more like German, Austrian food. But this is traditional Slovak food. So let me get a bite of this. It's quite tasty. The cheese is a little tangy, good. And the bacon is nice and crispy on top. Gives it a good flavor. That's really good. Okay, so we just finished lunch here at the Slovak pub. 23 out of 100 pubs worldwide, according to Lonely Planet, or maybe TripAdvisor. I don't know. One of the two. But it was good, touristy, but the food was good. I think it's funny that the dish we liked the best was the one we weren't really planning on having was the cabbage soup. We really enjoyed it. It was quite tasty, but good meal. The beer was really good, and €33 was the final bill. And that was 3 beers, 2 bowls of soup, and our plate of dumplings, the little potato dumplings. So very good meal. We're definitely full, and now we're going to go explore some more.
Bratislava's beautiful town hall square is the heart of the Old Town. Dating back to the 14th century, the Old Town Hall is one of the city's oldest buildings, and the square is filled with colorful historic buildings, lively cafes, and playful statues that add a touch of personality and charm to this historic setting.
All right, so I'm at the top of the Town Hall Tower, and it cost, I believe it was €4 to climb the tower, and it's I think like 51 meters high. It's not too high. There's a stairwell. At a couple points, the stairs are really narrow, old European medieval type stairs, but it's not very far, and you go up maybe, I don't know, a few meters, 5 meters or so, and then you got a break. You got a nice little area to kind of take a break and rest, and then you can go further. So it's not hard, but it is kind of tight at a couple spots. So just be aware of that. But great views, definitely nice views here of the main square here in Bratislava. And yeah, I recommend climbing the tower here at the town hall, especially on a nice sunny day like today. You get some great views, quite beautiful. So behind me, this beautiful building is St. Michael's Gate, and this is one of the original 4 gates that allowed access into the city in the Middle Ages. This is unfortunately the only one that's left. It was built right at about the year 1300, And then in the mid 1700s, the look that it has now is adding the Baroque finishes to it, with Saint Michael slaying the dragon added to the top.
The Slovak National Uprising Memorial honors the resistance fighters who stood up against Nazi occupation during World War II. Simple, powerful, and impossible to ignore, it's a reminder of Bratislava's courage and its fight for freedom.
All right, so we were getting tired. We had to get some coffee. So we said it's cake and coffee time. So we came into Cafe Nagelreiter, and they have a little German saying. It says, Die Sonne bringt dein Brot. So the sun brings your bread, this little bakery. And so we have some cafe lattes, and they put cinnamon on top. That smells good. And we have some cake. I'm not sure what this is, but it looks really good. It's chocolate, it looks very rich, red on top. Betty has a raspberry chocolate cake. Looks really good. And so we are excited to dig in. I'm gonna take a little bite of this. Oh, that's really good. Really good. I'm gonna try some of Betty's. I might have to switch with Betty. That's really good. This is some really good cake. I'm ready for the coffee. We're tired. This is a great break. Cafe Nagelreiter in Bratislava. Okay, so this is the presidential palace of the Slovak Republic. It has another name, I forget, but it was built for a count. This was his summer residence, and he was an advisor to Queen Maria Theresa of the Hungarian Empire, Austro-Hungarian Empire. So originally it was his summer residence, but since 1996, it's been the presidential palace. The president does not actually live here, from what I understand, but this is where he conducts his business. Beautiful buildings, got a really nice fountain out in front. Now, Bratislava and the Slovak Republic has a very interesting history. Now, and I must admit, we've been traveling a lot, and I did not brush up a lot on my history of the Slovak Republic or Bratislava before we got here, but I've been trying to catch up. So Bratislava did not get its name Bratislava until 1919 after World War I. Before that, it was called Pressburg. So it had like a German name because we're only 45 miles, I think, roughly 45 miles from Vienna. So really close, a lot of Austrian heritage, and it was a part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire for a long time as well. And it's kind of different from the rest of the Slovak Republic. They don't have so much German, Austrian influence. At least that's my understanding, so I've been told. So it got its name in 1919. What we call it today is Bratislava. And so the Slovak Republic is the Slovakia part of the country. Some old people like me remember that was called Czechoslovakia, combination of the Czech Republic and the Slovak Republic. In I believe it's 1991, after the fall of the Soviet Union and a lot of the countries started going away from communism, then at that point, 1991, I think they had what they called the Velvet Divorce. So Czech and Slovak just split up. It was a peaceful separation, and they just decided to be two countries. And so now today we have Czech and Slovak, and there you have it. Okay, so this is the Blue Church, and as the name implies, it is very blue. It's nice light blue on the outside. The roof is very dark blue, and it's supposed to be blue on the inside. Pictures we've seen look very pretty, but we have had pretty bad luck with churches today because this is the second one we can't go inside. I'm not sure why. It's supposed to be open right now, but it is definitely not. Don't know why. But pictures look nice. It was built in the early 20th century, and it was consecrated in 1913, I believe, so right before the First World War. Something interesting today, in the courtyard, and maybe this is why it's closed, I don't know, but in the courtyard, they've kind of got it closed up, and there's like a guard on duty, and I peeked around, and it's all decorated like in a winter scene. They have artificial snow, they have a snowman, like a bunch of trees with fake snow on them.
I thought it was a Hallmark movie.
So I think maybe they're filming a Hallmark Christmas movie, or maybe a Christmas commercial. I don't know, but I can't wait to see. I hope it is a Hallmark movie. I want to see it. And I'll say, oh, I was there when they were filming that behind the Blue Church. But anyway, Blue Church here in Bratislava. It's very pretty, and I think it looks nice on the inside too, from what I've seen. We're walking to the Danube Promenade to walk along the Danube, and we have to go across this bridge that has the UFO tower on top of it, and we've got traffic going above us, but I'm going over the Danube right now. I've got a nice view of the, you can see that nice view of the castle behind me, and yeah, this is pretty nice. Looking out over the Danube River. Doesn't look quite blue today. It's more green, but
Quite wide.
it is very wide, yeah. So just roaring along here in Bratislava, going to the Danube. You're going to see what it's like to walk along the Danube River for a little bit on the other side. We'll see you then.
For a relaxing break, take a walk along the Danube Promenade. It's a flat, easy stroll right by the water. From down here, you get some of the best unobstructed views of Bratislava Castle and St. Martin's Cathedral towering over the city. And you can't miss the SMP Bridge. That saucer is actually a restaurant and observation deck perched 95 meters up. We stayed on the ground this time, but if you're looking for high altitude views, that's the place to go.
Have the knee, or the pork knuckle, and I've got pickles, mustard, horseradish. This looks so good. Bread. Betty has beef and sauce with cranberries, and I guess these are potatoes. Man, this, what is it? Potato pancakes. This looks and smells. It smells phenomenal. It looks great. I'm gonna cut this. Oh man, this is so tender. Lord have mercy. Look at that. Oh man. Oh. We were going to order just one plate, but Betty was hungry. We had to get two. This is outstanding. This is some of the best pork knuckle I've had, to be honest with you. It tastes really good. Can't wait to dip it and try that. So it's going to be a great meal. Tell you what, guten appetit here in Bratislava. Tips on logistics if you're driving here. So we drove over from Prague. We spent a few days in Prague and drove over to Bratislava. It took about 3.5 hours, I would say. And so just a caution, there are a lot of speed traps that we found in Czech Republic. They were really monitoring the speed closely, and they pulled over a lot of people. A lot of unmarked cars were police cars pulling people over. So keep that in mind. And then you need to get a vignette to drive in the Slovak Republic. And you could get that like as soon as you cross the border. There are just regular rest stops. And you go in, you need your car documents. You need your car documents to pay for it. And basically they put your car number plate into a system and they charge you. You don't get like an actual sticker for your car or anything like that. So you could buy 1 day or 10 days. I'm assuming you can buy longer, but you can't buy anything in between 1 day or 10 day. And for 10 days, we paid €10.50. And that's another point. Slovak Republic is on the euro, unlike the Czech Republic or Czechia. I guess it's called these days. I always get that incorrect, but I know they changed their name. Anyway, Slovak Republic is on the euro, so that makes your conversions a little bit easier if you're coming from Prague. So,
Public transport.
oh, and public transportation. So we bought a 24-hour public transportation ticket here in Bratislava, and it was €7, €8.60 for 24 hours of public transportation. And it's very easy to use the tram. You have to buy, or at least the best we can figure out, you actually have to buy a paper ticket. The machines are at the tram stops. They have English menu, and you can pay with card, and then you have to validate it when you get on the tram. So there you go, some logistics help when you're traveling and arriving in Bratislava.
From climbing the Old Town Hall Tower and walking through Michael's Gate to the castle views and incredible food, Bratislava honestly surprised us. It is such an underrated gem that many travelers skip it, but it is definitely worth the trip. We love hearing from you, so tell us your favorite hidden gems in Europe that most tourists miss. Share your secrets in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe for more Europe travels, and if the option is there, hype this video to help us grow. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.